Morning everyone. Thank you for tuning in today. So I'm Shelley and I'm going to present to you today on the 5 basically top rail journeys or bucket list items for 2019. We've got some exciting ones in there. We've got some new ones and also some old ones that some people may have forgotten about, so I'll go over some of those. I've also just returned from Switzerland, so I'll tell you some exciting things about my trip as well. So getting straight into it, firstly, these are the trains we're going to cover today. So we're going to look at the brand new Great Southern from Great Southern Rail in Australia, which is very exciting news that they've just launched this. So I'll tell you a bit about that. Over in the UK, we'll tell you about the Balmain British Pullman, which is a day journey basically, on a beautiful train. The Tren Crucero over in Ecuador is the newest train on our Great Train Journeys block basically for next year. And in our backyard, the Coastal Pacific, back up and running, which is fantastic. Then we've got the Ultimate Grand Train Tour of Switzerland, which is an exclusive to Rail Plus, so I'll tell you a little bit about that one as well. So starting with the fantastic Great Southern, as soon as this launched, we've had a lot of inquiry, which is awesome. Feel free to ask any questions as I go if you like as well. Blaze is on the other end. Also at the end, you can ask some questions too. So the Great Southern is a brand new journey, new route for Great Southern Rail, or Journey Beyond as they're now called. This is operating on the same train, so it is basically the Garn gets pulled out over December, January. And it will be the Garn train that's operating on this route. So it's only for December, January next season, and it now runs between Adelaide and Brisbane, which is fantastic. So it runs similar to the Garn Expedition, so it's only a through journey. It can't be broken. It has to be Adelaide to Brisbane or Brisbane to Adelaide only. Now, slightly different day journeys. So Adelaide to Brisbane is a 2-night, 3-day journey, whereas Brisbane to Adelaide is a 3-night, 4-day journey. So only slightly different. They do take in mainly the same off-train excursions. The highlights of Adelaide to Brisbane is the Grampians, Canberra, and you've got beachside dining on both directions. But the highlight to Brisbane to Adelaide is you'll basically get to see the Hunter Valley and the 12 Apostles by the Great Ocean Road. So it does depend what they want to see and what direction they go in. But it has now been launched and it is now available for booking, which is fantastic. But just to make sure clients do know that it is unable to be broken and can't be started in Melbourne. We have had that question a few times. So all the information is on our website under the Great Train Journeys section and then under Australia. And then you can see the actual itinerary breakdown of each journey as well. Just to note while I'm in Australia as well, the Overland, you may have heard, had discontinued for next year. However, this has now changed. And yesterday they just advised that they are now going to be operating again next year, which is fantastic news. This train's been around for a long time. And there are a lot of disappointed people. So that's the Melbourne-Adelaide day trip, basically. And that will be operating again for 2019, which is fantastic. So this is just a few photos of what you'll see. The cabin types are all the same because it is basically the Garn train that will still be operating. So still gold and platinum. Do make sure they get in early to book. It will be like all the others and we'll book out really fast. Now, the Balmain British Pullman is one that doesn't get as much talk about that it should, really. This is a sister train to the Venice Simplon Orient Express. So it is a beautiful train that has vintage carriages that once run on the legendary 1920s services, such as the Brighton Bow and the Golden Arrow. So if someone wants to do the Venice Simplon Orient Express, they don't have the money or the time, this is a fantastic option because it is a taster. So it's a day journey basically in this beautiful carriages. So they run in and out of London. So it's an elegant day journey or experience. Departures can be set on a themed journey, such as the Golden Age of Travel, murder mystery, so they'll get to question people to see who did it, like the murder on the Orient. The historic bath trip, Valentine's Day lunch, so all sorts of different themed journeys that they can do. The general journeys include a 5-course lunch with champagne. They don't sleep on board or anything, it's just a day journey. And then the historic bath one has a brunch with a Bellini and a guided coach tour and free time in Bath as well. And then they also get a 4-course dinner on that trip as well. So each theme journey is slightly different in what it includes, but we can let you know, and there's more information on the website there. The train itself is, as I said, in a 1920s state. Each carriage takes of about 20 to 26 guests, and there's 11 parlour cars. So 5 of which are kitchen and service cars, and the rest are for guests. So they're beautifully laid out for them. And then prices start from around $649 for this. So it's a great upsell for anyone that is going to the UK and has a spare day. It's a great way to experience all those train buffs out there that would love to experience the Venice Simplon Orient Express. Then this is a great option for them. So just a few photos to show you what it's like. Pretty much luxury at its best on this train. Right, our newest train on the block for next year is the Tren Crucero, and this is in Ecuador. So this is really exciting news for us to be able to offer this for next year. It is a train which you sleep off board, so it's just a luxury onboard train, and then you get beautiful luxury hotels included as well, but you sleep off the train. So there are 2 4-night journeys. They're basically in and out of Quito, and you're departing once to twice a month in a 4-night itinerary. So the first is generally it's called Train of Wonders, which is Quito to Guayaquil, if I said that right. Guayaquil to Quito is called Train to the Clouds. So these have 2 luxury carriages on board, which are colonial or Republican themed. It carries only 54 guests, so it's a nice, small, intimate train experience. And the highlights of this are Devil's Nose Pass, Avenue of the Volcanoes, the Andes, some really cool things that you probably wouldn't be able to see otherwise unless you were on the train. So this train actually includes some sections by bus, as you can see by the map on the right. So some are by train and some are by bus to link them. And sometimes you will be on a steam locomotive and sometimes on a diesel electric as well. So just a few of the photos of this beauty are here. And you can get some more of these on the website too. So it looks stunning on board. It's more of like has quite a hotel, luxury hotel feel when you're in it. Nice and spacious, and yeah, really beautiful train. So in our backyard, the Coastal Pacific is back, which is fantastic. It's been about 2 years out of operation since the devastating Kaikoura earthquake. So this is now running through till the end of April, every day for summer, basically. So there's these carriages on board are the same as most of the Kiwi Rail carriages. So you've got outdoor viewing carriages, you've got headsets to listen to commentary, you've got a cafe, bar carriage, etc. And it runs between Christchurch and Picton. So the lines did get damaged quite a lot, so they have changed them a little bit in some places, so it won't always follow the coast because they lost a lot of the lines around there, but it still is very scenic. So we had Jack from our reservations team just experienced this last weekend and said he absolutely loved it. You basically see there's still some speed restrictions in place, so they do go a little bit slower in some places, but it just gives them more time to see the scenery, which is fantastic. So the highlights are the Kaikoura coastline, the Canterbury Plains, so they go inland to see the plains, marine wildlife, the roaring sea, and bush-clad mountains. So we really do have a fantastic asset in our backyard to be able to sell for New Zealand, and seeing it by train is wonderful. You can also connect with the Transalpine in Christchurch, or with the Inter-Islander over to the Northern Explorer as well. So that's now available to book and is running till the end of April at this stage. Some of the scenery there for you. As you can see, some of the coastline, the coastal network actually goes right beside the coast, so that's pretty unique. Not a lot of countries can do that. Now on to Switzerland, the fantastic ultimate grand train tour of Switzerland. So this is an exclusive to Rail Plus, so only we can offer this for you. It is a really great way of seeing Switzerland, because if someone's going there, I highly recommend doing at least one or two of the scenic routes, and this does include those. So this train tour in particular is 13 days and 12 nights. So it's unguided. It does include their hotels, their seat reservations, their train pass, breakfasts, etc., but it is unguided, so they are independently getting from and to. They can also extend or cut down nights in different places if they want to as well, but it is really well made out so that they can make the most of their time in each place and get up to the mountain viewing as well. So it starts and finishes in Basel, where it can connect with river cruises too, which is a great option. It includes the scenic trains such as the Glacier Express, the Bernina, the Gotthard, and the Golden Pass line, as well as the Jungfrau top of Europe as well. So basically, they come from Basel down to Interlaken. They'll get to do the Jungfrau while they're there. They'll take the Golden Pass through to Montreux, and then Montreux through to Zermatt. Take the Glacier Express over to St. Moritz Tirano, and then take the bus connection through to Lugano before they get on the longest underground tunnel in the world through to on the Gotthard Panorama Express. Then they come out and take a paddle steamship across Lake Lucerne. It's a fantastic itinerary. As I mentioned, I've just come back from Switzerland and it was such a great trip. I hosted the Swiss Vermil over there and we experienced everything. The train network over there is really, really good. So you might find that connections are quite tight on our website in Switzerland, but it really is fine. So basically the platforms are nice and close together. Sometimes you will have the whole train getting off and getting onto the next train, so they don't leave people behind. You've got nice conductors standing everywhere to sort of tell you and direct you where to go. The actual computer screens at the stations have telling you exactly where on the platform you need to stand as well, which is really helpful because trains in Switzerland are perfectly on time, so you cannot be late. So if someone doesn't want to do the Grand Train tour, but they do want to experience some of Switzerland, the Swiss Travel Pass is definitely the way to go. This includes your rail, your bus, your boats, all sorts of things included on this. And it's so easy, they just show their pass everywhere they go, so they don't need to be buying tickets all the time. Museums and activities are free on that as well. So you can tailor make this ultimate Grand Train tour, or you can get this one in particular. The hotel in Basel that we use is called the Teufelhof, and I went and had a look around this. It's a really amazing hotel. It's got so many things included. It's got a cinema, a conference room, a bar, a few different restaurants, a really cool hotel that they get to stay at in Basel as well. Also to note in Switzerland that we can do luggage service. So we utilised this while we were over there too, which is so good. You don't need to worry about your luggage for the day if you are going from and to destinations. Really good for people going skiing, doing the mountains as well. They can send all their ski gear onwards by train from one town to the next. It will be ready at their hotel once they get there, and they don't need to worry about getting it on and off a train. So that's a really good option that we can offer as well. Another highlight that I'll just let you know about that I did do while I was over there was I did get to look at the new Excellence class carriage on the Glacier Express, which is a 20-seater carriage only. Fantastic viewing carriage, definitely similar to the first class product. And then they get a full dinner and lunch included. So all of the meals are included, and they have a bar in there as well. They have seats that have massage buttons as well. So this is a beautiful new carriage that's not yet in operation, but will be operational from the about late next year, and will be pretty fantastic product. It's got a really cool compass in the roof as well, which actually turns and shows where you are going as well. So Switzerland is amazing, and I highly recommend it. If you have any questions for your clients for me since I've just been, feel free to come through to me and ask. So these are some of the beautiful pictures that you'll get on it. The time of year that you can travel is basically all year round, and it is just as scenic no matter when you go. Whether you go in summer or whether you go in winter, Switzerland is postcard picture perfect. So those are our a quick overview of the 5 different sort of bucket list items or great train journeys that we have to offer next year that are really popular. We have over 30 more to choose from. Rail is becoming more and more popular. It's basically the new cruise. If you have any cruise clients that love cruising, they're an easy convert for rail. So cruise by land is a great way. They only have to unpack once. It's nice and scenic. They're basically getting a cabin with a view on every cabin they choose from. It is just a really easy convert from a cruiser's perspective, and you've got great commissions on your great train journeys as well. So other webinars that we have, I've done over the course of the year are the Ghana and the Indian Pacific, the Rocky, Via Rail, Swiss Travel System, UK and Italy. So all of these are loaded on our website under the link here for the webinar. So if you did miss any of them, you can go and see them. And as you can hear, I do it nice and quickly, a quick 15-20 minute webinar so that you can have a good overview. So if you want to see any more of those, they are there. This is the last one for the year this year. Next year's will be January the 22nd, Tuesday the 22nd of January, and this will be one not to miss. So this will be on Eurail in particular. There's possibly going to be some changes on this coming from the start of January, changes in Eurail. So this one is I highly recommend tuning into to hear about what's changed or new in 2019. You can talk to our team. A lot of our team have done many of the trains, so do feel free to ask for anyone that's done the specific train, and they can tell you about those as well. We have 3 new staff just come on board, which is fantastic. They're in training at the moment, and they will start on the phones, etc. in January, which is great. So they're our seasonal staff who we did start more March, April last year, but we've started them earlier this year, which is great. We have the current Eurail promo on until the end of the month, which is 37% off for rail passes at the moment. That's until the end of the month. Make sure you've ticketed anything by the end of the month, because nothing will carry over to January if you are trying to hold something. Our system ends and cuts off at the end of December, so make sure you've ticketed everything. That is pretty much me. Do I have any questions? Just checking anyone's got any questions. So the links to all of the products that I talked about will be sent in a follow-up email as well. Question, are the hotels on the Ultimate Grand Train Tour of Switzerland within walking distance to the train station? Yes, most definitely. All of the towns are also really small and compact and easy to get around, which I found quite interesting. That's not what I expected when I went to Zurich, for example. Everything's nice and small and compact. and near the train stations. Yes, all the hotels are definitely within walking distance. It did rain for us a bit, and that even wasn't a problem as well. You could basically run to the station in the rain without getting wet. What are the hotels on the... Oh, that's the same question. What is the commission on the Ultimate Grand Train Tour of Switzerland? I just need to check that one for you. Give me a moment and I'll come back to that question. So the cost of luggage service on the Ultimate Grand Train Tour. So the Ultimate Grand Train Tour of Switzerland doesn't include the luggage service. Sorry, that might have been me that confused you. The luggage service is a separate entity. So if they are travelling independently around Switzerland is when we can book the luggage service, and that's under our sightseeing tab, sightseeing and transfers tab on the website, which will give you the prices and information for that. So the Ultimate Grand Train Tour of Switzerland, they do need to take their own luggage on the trains each time as well. They do need seat reservations on the scenic trains, and they are included with the Ultimate Grand Train Tour as well. Just to note, while I was there are a lot of mountain excursions such as the Jungfrau, the Matterhorn, everything like that. A lot of people miss these, so they don't have time, etc. I think they're well worth doing if they're there, and I also think it's worth having a night or two to settle first, because the altitude can be quite large. So I think Matterhorn was 3883. I got a little bit of altitude sickness at that, and it is something you don't want to miss once you're there. So make sure they have had a day to sort of adjust to the altitude before they do it. I can't find the commission sheet right at this moment, so I will come back to you. If you can just, whoever asked that question about the commission of the Ultimate Grand Train Tour, if you can flick me your email, or we'll actually put it in the overview with all the links as well. I'll get Blaze to put in the commission of this for you as well, so that you've got the answer. Any more questions, guys? No. So lastly, I just want to say Merry Christmas. It's December already, which is incredible. Thank you so much for your support this year. It's been a really fantastic year for rail in the New Zealand market. We've grown considerably, and we're only looking to grow more in 2019, and we can't do that without you guys. So thank you so much. Have a lovely Christmas New Year period. Hopefully you can relax at some point of it, and I will see you in January for the URL webinar. Thanks guys. Bye.